Imagine a world where one man's desires commanded an empire, where the flicker of a candle in a lavish palace could ignite passions that toppled dynasties and reshaped history itself. What if I told you that the most powerful rulers of the Ottoman Empire, those iron-fisted sultans who conquered vast lands, lived a secret life of unparalleled sensuality, shrouded in mystery and forbidden allure? These weren't just kings, they were masters of a hidden realm where sex wasn't merely pleasure, it was power, politics and peril, intertwined in a dance as intoxicating as it was deadly. Tonight, you dive into the shadowed corridors of the Topkapi Palace, where whispers of ecstasy and betrayal echo through time, promising revelations that will forever change how you view history's greatest empires. Picture this. A young sultan ascends the throne, his eyes gleaming with ambition, surrounded by hundreds of the world's most beautiful women, hand-picked from distant lands, each one a potential key to his legacy or his downfall. The air thickens with the scent of jasmine and rosewater, veils fluttering like secrets in the wind, as eunuchs guard the gates to a paradise forbidden to all but the chosen one. But beneath the opulence lies a paradox. In this gilded cage of desire, love was a weapon, jealousy a poison, and every intimate encounter carried the weight of empire building. How did these sultans navigate a life where one night of passion could sire heirs or spark rebellions? What twisted rituals and unspoken rules governed their bedrooms, turning sex into a strategic game of thrones? As you lean in closer, feel the tension build, the heartbeat of anticipation mirroring the sultan's own pulse in those fateful moments. Emotion surges through tales of legendary loves, like Suleiman the Magnificent and his beloved harem, whose fiery romance defied traditions and ignited scandals that rippled across continents. Yet, darkness lurks. Stories of discarded concubines, ruthless rivalries, and the eerie silence of those who vanished into the night. Each revelation peels back layers of myth, exposing the raw humanity behind the throne, the vulnerabilities, the excesses, the unbreakable bonds formed in the heat of passion. You're on the edge now, senses alive with the vivid imagery of silk sheets, whispered promises, and the ever-present threat of intrigue. But wait, the deepest secrets remain veiled, teasing you with questions that demand answers. What forbidden practices did sultans indulge in, hidden from prying eyes? How did the harem's intricate web of desire influence the fate of nations? And what shocking truths about their intimate lives challenge everything we think we know about power and pleasure? Hold on, because as we venture deeper, the revelations will stun you, leaving one monumental mystery hanging in the balance, unfinished and irresistible. You step through the grand gates of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, where the Ottoman sultans ruled with an iron grip over an empire that stretched from the sands of Arabia to the gates of Vienna. These men, descendants of Osman the who founded the dynasty in the late 13th century, embodied absolute power. But behind the towering walls and ornate domes lay the harem, a secluded world where sex intertwined with the very survival of the empire. The word harem itself evokes images of exotic luxury, but it derived from the Arabic haram, meaning forbidden or sacred. This was no mere collection of women. It functioned as a meticulously organised institution, housing up to 300 concubines, wives and female relatives, all under the watchful eyes of castrated eunuchs who ensured no unauthorised man entered. Sultans like Mehmed the Conqueror, who captured Constantinople in 1453, set the tone for this system. He transformed the Byzantine city into the Ottoman capital and established the harem as a symbol of imperial might. Sex for these rulers went beyond personal gratification. It secured dynastic continuity. In a society where polygamy aligned with Islamic law, sultans could take up to 4 wives, but concubines numbered in the hundreds, often captured during wars or gifted by allies. These women hailed from diverse backgrounds: Circassian beauties with porcelain skin, Slavic girls with fiery spirits, and African maidens with enigmatic allure. Their arrival marked the beginning of a life steeped in sensuality and strategy. Imagine the sensory overload. The harem quarters buzzed with the rustle of silk garments, the tinkling of golden anklets, and the heady aroma of incense burning in silver braziers. Eunuchs, often black Africans or white Slavs castrated in youth, patrolled the corridors, their high-pitched voices a constant reminder of the sacrifices made for loyalty. The Sultan's mother, the Valide Sultan, reigned supreme, orchestrating alliances and rivalries like a chess master. She selected potential favourites, training them in the arts of seduction, music, and poetry to captivate her son. Sex education formed a crucial part. Young concubines learned from experienced women how to please the Sultan, mastering techniques that blended affection with political acumen. Yet, this paradise concealed harsh realities. Concubines lived in a hierarchy. Ikbals were favoured lovers, while ordinary odalisques performed menial tasks. Promotion depended on bearing sons, as only male heirs could inherit the throne. The Sultan's visits followed rituals. He signalled his choice by sending a handkerchief or slipper, prompting elaborate preparations with baths in rose-scented waters, and bodies adorned with henna and jewels. The encounter itself unfolded in opulent chambers, where velvet cushions and mirrored walls amplified the intimacy. Historians note that sultans like Selim II indulged frequently, sometimes multiple times a night, viewing sex as a divine right that reinforced their godlike status. As the empire expanded under Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century, the harem evolved into a political powerhouse. Sex became a tool for diplomacy. Sultans fathered children with women from influential families, binding alliances through bloodlines. But jealousy simmered beneath the surface. Rival concubines plotted poisonings or spread rumours to eliminate competitors, turning the harem into a hotbed of intrigue. The Sultan's libido dictated not just personal pleasure, but the empire's stability. Too many heirs sparked succession wars, while infertility invited whispers of divine disfavour. Feel the weight of this world now, where every caress carried consequences. Sultans balanced conquests on the battlefield with conquest in the bedroom, their desires shaping history. But what happened when passion overrode prudence? One sultan's obsession with a single woman threatened to unravel the entire system, leading to reforms that shocked the court. And as we delve deeper, you wonder, how did these intimate moments fuel betrayals that echoed through centuries? The stage sets for revelations that pull you further in, but just as the curtain lifts on a pivotal figure, a shadow falls, hinting at a love so powerful it bent the rules of an empire, yet left a trail of devastation in its wake. That pivotal figure emerges as Roxolana, better known as Hurrem Sultan, the Ruthenian slave who captured Suleiman the Magnificent's heart in the 1520s. Her story reveals the first layers of how sex for Ottoman sultans transcended mere physicality, evolving into emotional bonds that challenged traditions. Suleiman, ruling over the empire's golden age, encountered Hurrem in the harem's selection process, a ritual where new concubines paraded before the sultan, their beauty assessed like precious gems. Historians describe how she stood out with her auburn hair and sharp wit, quickly rising from odalisque to favourite. Their encounters began in secrecy, but soon Suleiman's visits to her chambers became nightly rituals filled with passionate embraces that blended tenderness and intensity. Sex in this context followed Islamic guidelines but allowed for creativity. Sultans enjoyed variety. Texts like the Ottoman adaptation of The Perfumed Garden, an Arabic erotic manual, influenced practices. Positions varied, emphasizing mutual pleasure, with concubines trained in massage, dance, and even storytelling to prolong arousal. Sensory details heightened the experience. Dimly lit rooms glowed with candlelight reflecting off gold-embroidered tapestries, while the taste of sweet sherbets lingered on lips during foreplay. Hurrem mastered these arts, reportedly using her intelligence to engage Suleiman in deep conversations post-coitus, turning pillow talk into political strategy. Their union produced 5 children, but it was the depth of their connection that shocked the court. Suleiman broke precedent by marrying her legally in 1533, elevating a slave to sultana. This revelation uncovers the power dynamics at play. Sex granted women influence. A favoured concubine could whisper suggestions that swayed imperial decisions. Hurrem orchestrated the execution of Suleiman's Grand Vizier, and even influenced foreign policy, her bedroom confidences shaping alliances with Europe. Yet not all encounters sparkled with romance. Many sultans, like Murad III in the late 16th century, pursued excess, reportedly sleeping with up to 100 women in a single month. His harem swelled to over 1,000, leading to logistical feats. Eunuchs rotated women efficiently, ensuring the sultan's stamina with aphrodisiacs like ambergris and pistachio concoctions. These nights unfolded with ritualistic precision. The chosen one bathed, perfumed her body with musk, and awaited the Sultan on a canopied bed, where encounters could last hours, blending dominance with sensuality. Emotional swings marked these lives. Joy erupted in the birth of a son, celebrated with feasts, but despair followed when favourites fell from grace. Discarded concubines faced exile or worse. Some drowned in the Bosporus on orders from jealous rivals. The paradox deepened. While sultans wielded ultimate control, their desires often enslaved them. Ahmed I, in the early 17th century, favoured Kösem Sultan, whose seductive prowess secured her position. But their passionate trysts hid underlying tensions as she manoeuvred for her son's futures. As we peel back more layers, curiosity builds. What forbidden aspects lurked in these encounters? Whispers of same-sex relations among sultans surface in historical accounts, though veiled in taboo. Bayezid II allegedly enjoyed the company of handsome pages, blending homoerotic elements into the palace's sensual tapestry. But the real intrigue lies in how sex fueled dynastic crises. One sultan's insatiable appetite led to a harem so vast it drained the treasury, sparking rebellions. Feel the tension mount as these revelations unfold, drawing you into the heart of Ottoman intimacy. Yet, just as the empire reached its zenith, a dark undercurrent emerged. A single act of passion ignited a chain of events that threatened to collapse the throne, involving betrayal, murder, and a secret so explosive it redefined power. What was this cataclysmic affair, and how did it expose the vulnerabilities hidden in the Sultan's bedchamber? The answer hangs in the balance, a major cliffhanger that propels us forward into uncharted depths. The cataclysm intensifies with the tale of Ibrahim III, the 17th century Sultan, whose unbridled lust spiraled into madness, escalating the harem's dangers to unprecedented heights. Known as Ibrahim the Mad, he ascended in 1640, amid whispers of instability, but his sexual appetites quickly dominated his reign. Historians recount how he demanded virgins from across the empire, fixating on women with specific traits, like fuller figures, earning him the nickname "lover of fat women." His encounters grew obsessive. One night, enraged by jealousy, he ordered the drowning of 280 concubines in the Bosporus, a shocking twist that blended erotic fixation with tyrannical rage. The air in the palace thickened with fear, as survivors navigated a world where passion could turn lethal in an instant. This escalation reveals twisted rituals within the harem. Sultans like Ibrahim incorporated elements of fantasy, donning disguises or staging elaborate role plays inspired by Persian tales. Sensory immersion heightened the drama. Concubines applied oils scented with saffron and clove, their bodies painted with intricate designs that glowed under lantern light. Encounters often involved multiple partners, though Islamic law limited official wives. Whispers of orgies surface in European traveller accounts, like those of Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, who visited in the 18th century and noted the harem's sensual freedoms. Yet, twists abound. Eunuchs, despite castration, sometimes engaged in non-penetrative intimacies, adding layers of complexity to the palace's erotic web. Emotional swings gripped the sultans profoundly. Take Mustafa I, Ibrahim's predecessor, whose brief reigns were marred by impotence rumours, leading to humiliating attempts at virility through alchemical potions. Success brought euphoria, but failure plunged him into despair, highlighting how sex equated to masculine prowess and divine mandate. The Valide Sultans exploited this, like Turhan Hatishi, who rose through seductive alliances, only to orchestrate her son's overthrow in a power play fueled by bedroom betrayals. These stories twist further with international intrigue. European ambassadors bribed harem insiders for secrets, turning intimate details into diplomatic weapons. As tensions escalated, the harem became a breeding ground for plots. In the 18th century, under Ahmed III, the tulip era brought artistic flourishes to sex, poetry recited during foreplay, gardens where encounters unfolded amid blooming flowers. But beneath the beauty lurked peril. One favourite, accused of infidelity, faced execution, her fate a stark reminder of the thin line between favour and doom. Curiosity loops tighten here. What if a sultan's passion for a forbidden love crossed societal bounds? Selim III's rumoured affairs with male courtiers challenged heteronormative expectations, though suppressed in official records. The twists culminate in the 19th century with Abdul Hamid III, whose paranoia led to isolating the harem, yet he indulged in secretive trysts that influenced reforms. Feel the pulse quicken as these escalations build to a breaking point. The empire's decline mirrored the harem's excesses. Overindulgence weakened rulers, inviting foreign interventions. One final twist shocks. A sultan's hidden practice of using aphrodisiacs derived from rare, deadly ingredients not only enhanced pleasure, but poisoned his lineage, leading to genetic frailties that haunted successors. And now, the shocking revelation hits. Contrary to myths of endless harems, many sultans suffered from sexual dysfunction due to inbreeding and stress, relying on elaborate deceptions to maintain their image. This vulnerability exposed the fragile underbelly of power, where the throne's greatest strength, unlimited desire, became its fatal flaw, setting the stage for the empire's unravelling. The climax surges forward as we confront the ultimate consequences of the sultan's intimate lives, where unchecked desires propelled the Ottoman Empire toward its dramatic resolution. By the 19th century, under sultans like Abdülmecid III, the harem's role shifted amid Western influences, but the core dynamics persisted. Abdülmecid fathered over 40 children, his nights a whirlwind of passion in the Dolmabahce Palace, where modern luxuries like crystal chandeliers illuminated encounters that blended tradition with reform. Yet, this excess strained resources. The harem's maintenance cost fortunes, diverting funds from military needs as European powers encroached. Twist in the narrative peak with the story of the last powerful Valide, Pertevnil, mother of Abdulaziz, who manipulated her son's affections to control the court. Her influence climaxed in scandals where sex scandals leaked to the press, fueling public outrage and accelerating the empire's decline. Emotional peaks hit hard. Sultans like Abdul Hamid II grappled with isolation, their harems shrinking as monogamy gained traction under Tanzimat reforms. The raw humanity shines through. These rulers, once godlike, faced impotence from opium use or stress, turning to physicians for remedies that often failed, leading to desperate measures like surrogate fathers for heirs. Resolution emerges in the empire's twilight. By the early 20th century, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk abolished the Sultanate in 1922, dismantling the harem system and exiling remaining members. This marks the end of an era where sex had been the linchpin of power. Reflect on the legacy. The Sultan's intimate lives produced architectural marvels like the harem quarters, cultural artifacts in poetry and art, but also sowed seeds of corruption. Modern scholars, drawing from diaries and European accounts, reveal how these practices influenced gender roles, with women like Hurrem pioneering paths to power through sensuality. As the climax resolves, feel the emotional release, the thrill of forbidden knowledge giving way to understanding. Sultans' sex lives weren't just hedonistic, they mirrored societal evolutions, from polygamous excess to restrained monogamy. The empire's fall intertwined with these personal stories, where passion ignited innovations but also ignited downfalls. Today's perspectives challenge Orientalist myths, emphasizing agency among harem women who navigated the system with cunning. This journey through shadowed palaces leaves you with profound insights, setting up a call to reflect on history's hidden facets. As we wrap this tale of desire and destiny, remember the Sultan's world as a mirror to our own complexities of power and intimacy. In this exploration of what sex was like for Ottoman sultans, we uncovered the harem's opulent yet perilous world, where passion served as both a tool of empire building and a source of intrigue. From the strategic rituals of selection and seduction that secured dynasties, to the emotional bonds like Suleiman and Hurrem's that defied norms, and the dark excesses of rulers like Ibrahim the Mad, whose obsessions led to tragedy. We delved into sensory-rich encounters, influenced by erotic texts, the political power wielded through pillow talk, and shocking revelations of vulnerabilities such as impotence and inbreeding that weakened the throne. The escalation through scandals and reforms culminated in the system's downfall with the empire's end, leaving a legacy of cultural influence and modern re-evaluation. These key points illuminate how intimate lives shaped history's grand narrative, blending desire with destiny in ways that continue to fascinate. If this journey into the forbidden corridors of the Ottoman palaces captivated you, hit that subscribe button now to join our community of history enthusiasts. Turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the untold stories that redefine our past. Your support keeps these revelations coming. Subscribe today and stay hooked on the mysteries of power and pleasure.